In the last 6 months, we've read 57 books, and honestly, that is like the least interesting thing that's happened. We've done it. We've reached 25 videos in 25 weeks. Our current goal is 50. I'm shooting for 50 videos in 50 weeks, and we have reached our halfway mark. Yay! Reading kind of took me by surprise. I didn't plan on becoming a chronic reader. It just kind of happened. I was bored one day and I thought, hey, I've heard a lot about Fourth Wing. How about we just see what it's all about? And while on this adult reading journey, I realized I also want to make content about reading. So when we paired reading with creating content, it was like, everything made sense. Honestly, I thought this channel would change the way I read books. I thought it would change the way I talked about books. I really wasn't sure what to expect, but actually what has unfolded is really incredible. I actually didn't expect reading to change the way that I live. I started reading in 2024, but I'm just gonna give you the last 6 months stats so you can see where I'm at. We've read 57 books so far. I've read 4 in April. It's mid-April. We've went from reading 5, 6, 7 books in October through December every month to reading 12 in January, 12 in February, 11 in March, and we're already on track to hit that goal again in April. I feel like something clicked around December. I don't know if it was the choice that I had made personally to challenge myself to read faster, if I figured out how to manage my life and my available time in order to fit more books in. I don't know if I made reading a non-negotiable in my life, but for some reason this year I've just been consuming more books than last year. I feel like I stopped fitting reading into my life and started building my life around reading. In the last 6 months, I've read 7 5-star books. Number 1 was Quicksilver. That was my second read through. Still rated at 5 stars. Second book was Belladonna. Third book was Shield of Sparrows. Fourth book was Serpent in the Wings of Night. Fifth book was City of Glass. Sixth book was Direbound. And the seventh book was Throne of the Fallen. My average rating in the last 6 months was 3.43 stars. It means I'm honest, and it means I'm not handing out 5 stars like it's my job. I actually in January became so intentional about reading that I created my own reading tracker that gives me so many statistics about how many hardcovers am I reading, what's my average rating, how many pages am I reading, what is the most popular genre that I'm reading, and even down to what publisher do I read the most. Honestly, I started reading because I used to be somebody that either felt guilty for staying still, felt guilty for not finding something around the house to be cleaning or doing, and something to like keep my mind occupied. I was always bored. I felt really guilty for like resting and laying down and just like watching TV. And I felt like I just wasn't utilizing my time. And so then I started reading, and it did more than just fill the gap. It literally replaced all my restlessness. Reading is like the thing that I schedule specific time for and make sure that I do it no matter what. I know that not everyone has that privilege. I know sometimes life just gets super busy, but what you should take away from this is that you need to make time for yourself, no matter if it's 10 minutes in the bathtub alone with no one bothering you, or a 2-hour reading session at the end of the night before bed in your cozy pajamas and under your really warm blanket. Because of all the reading, I literally turned an entire room into a library. I created this space so that it was somewhere we could read and be immersed in books without the outside distractions, but also a really cozy place to film and something that really felt like me. The aesthetics for content was just like a bonus. It really was just giving a place for us to put our book collection. We were bursting at the seams. All 3 of us in my family read, and we just wanted to do that in comfort. Clearly, reading isn't a phase, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Whether it be for me or my family, I think we are in it for life. The feeling that I get from putting a book on a shelf or taking a book off a shelf to read it is just, I can't even describe it. It is a really great feeling. Another unexpected turn that has taken in the last 6 months because of this crazy reading journey is getting people on board and involved and inspiring and influencing people. I just couldn't be more grateful. I don't want to take credit for my coworkers starting to read more, but we have our little book group now. We've started a book club. I'm actually a part of 2 book clubs now. My friends are reading more. All my friends are using Goodreads now to track their reads and rate their reads and make lists of books they want to read. And it's been so inspiring to see everyone get so involved in a hobby that's truly, really comforting and rewarding. And also, let's not talk about all the new words that I know because of reading. Joining those 2 book clubs was just a way that I could be social about reading. Sometimes when we're always reading, we can feel kind of alone and in our own heads. And joining a book club, a small little group that just meets weekly or monthly to just talk about books and relate ourselves to books and talk about our reactions to books, I would not change that for the world. My family started getting more involved. My family's they're not big readers, but they've supported me through this content journey. They're showing up and watching videos. They're wondering how the stats of the channel are doing and if I'm seeing growth. And I kind of was nervous at first to tell my family about my channel and what I do in my free time, but I wouldn't take it back and I wouldn't change anything. I'm so happy that I am loud about what I like to do, and it creates so much great conversation at the dinner table when all the family's together and we kind of just talk about what's going on. And one of the most rewarding things that I've gotten from just reading in general, but reading in the last 6 months in specific, is seeing my daughter inspired and wanting to read more as well. She will be turning 9 soon, and she's just recently started to tell me that she wants to not read just graphic novels, but long chapter books that don't necessarily have pictures, and they might be about romance. That was huge for me to see her go from one level of reading and how she's ready to start a new level. One thing that I couldn't have planned was how I feel when not only my daughter, but my daughter and my husband were all quietly reading together on the couch or now in the library. It's made reading our thing, and it's really, really special. I look forward to the days where my daughter and my husband all want to just pile on the couch with me and read books too. My daughter struggles with sitting still too, and it is really something that anchors her, keeps her relaxed, keeps her engaged. I don't know what kind of reader she'll be. Maybe she likes fantasy. Maybe she'll lean more towards romance. If she's anything like me, she'll love a strong FMC with dragons also. But she's going to know that books are worth sitting still for, and books are worth sitting down and relaxing for. And that's enough for me. I learned a lot about myself as a reader in the last 6 months. I know what I like now. I think I've really got my preferred genres. Too many times in the last year have I tried to bend into a certain category or step outside of my comfort zone just to experience what the other genres feel like or are about, or what the experience is. And I've realized that I just truly thrive in romantasy and fantasy, and that's kind of where I belong. I've realized what I don't like. Historical fiction is me dragging my feet through the entire book. Dark romance, I guess, can be fun if it's done in a tasteful way. I don't typically prefer spice that's every other chapter. Something that I didn't expect was increasing my reading pace. I can tell just by listening to an audiobook if I'm doing kind of an immersed reading experience, or if I'm just walking around cleaning. My audio listening speed has increased, and also my physical reading speed has increased. Now, I did intentionally try to speed my reading up, so if you're curious about how you can learn to read faster, let me know in the comments below. But just know it's not a race. There's nobody that you need to beat. It's not really normal to read 12 books in a month, so don't make that your goal if it seems really tough. I realized that I prefer my Kindle at night and in bed or traveling, whether it's on a plane or a car. I do still get a thrill from buying books and flipping through books and reading the words on the pages, but I know that I can also flex into a different format if needed. And I've realized that I love reading a physical book and pairing it with the audiobook, because the audio adds so much more to the story, especially if you like the narrators, but also it keeps me focused and it keeps me on pace so that I don't kind of fall behind or get distracted or stuck on certain sentences or words. The audiobook really adds some context to the mood and the vibe of the story. Knowing what you like in a book sounds really simple, but it took me 57 books to get to a spot where I'm confident about the books that I pick. and read. Totally worth it. Again, making content about reading was kind of just this side journey that I went on, kind of challenged myself. And I realized that making content about books helped motivate me to read more, but also influenced me to read more and made my reading experience more enjoyable. Talking about books and sharing them online with you has helped me realize that maybe my comprehension isn't always the best and it could be improved, but also helps me remember what the story is about, what the characters were about, and how much I liked it or not. It turns out if you tell 900 people what you think about a book, it's like, oh my gosh, you have an opinion. And I highly recommend having an opinion. This isn't a video about how great reading is. I know you know that, and I know that. It's a video about when you stop treating reading as a guilty pleasure or just something you might do if you have time, and to start treating it as a required task or a non-negotiable. Making time for yourself is something that you should do no matter what it is you choose to do. You don't need to read 57 books in 6 months. That is not the point of this video either. And you definitely don't need a room dedicated to books. Whatever you decide, you just need to make it yours. And then protect it at all costs. It was really important for me to share this perspective and update on reading with you because, again, content creation in the book realm is really big in my life right now, and I'm really proud of the progress that I have made in this channel. I'm proud of the subscribers in the community that we've begun to build around reading, and I just wanted to share that with you and hope that somebody may decide that they also want to take reading more seriously, or they want to commit to making reading a non-negotiable in their life. Comment down below what part of reading has changed your life, and not just like how many books you added to your shelf. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for coming with me on this journey, and leave like a little running emoji because that's what we're doing. I feel like I'm just running and I can't be stopped. And as always, thank you so much for being here with me tonight, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Rug reveal.